Tonight on Nebraska Nightly.
A closer look at the damage in Elkhorn.
Tornado relief throughout Nebraska.
And the Lincoln Marathon is right around the corner.
Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Peyton Polad.
And I'm Camille Andel. Our top story today, damage control on Friday's tornadoes. Workers at Garner Industries in Lincoln survived a direct hit by one of the tornadoes that tore through Nebraska on Friday. The plastic injection molding service is located at Cornhusker Highway and 98th Street. 70 people were in the building when the tornado hit them head on, causing parts to collapse. First responders were able to rescue everyone from the rubble. There were some non-life-threatening injuries, but everyone made it out alive. A nearby train derailed and cars were thrown hundreds of yards away. One man was in his car when the tornado picked him up and took him over to the other side of the road. Cleanup and assessment continues at the plant with some side roads blocked off to clear rubble.
The devastating tornadoes that ran through Nebraska last Friday have caused damage in multiple cities and small towns. Nebraska News Service's Mia Ackerman has more in Elkhorn, Nebraska, as she shows us the true damage.
I'm Mia Ackerman with Nebraska News Service, and we are here in a neighborhood off of West Maple Street and 204th in Elkhorn, Nebraska. We are here and we see so many houses without roofs and some houses that have been flattened by the recent tornado that just hit here in Nebraska on Friday, April 25th.
Homeowner Mindy Gritton was at work when the tornado came through her neighborhood. Two of her children, Bailey and Xander, were home after school and took cover in their basement.
I was watching the ring cam and I saw it go darker and darker and darker, and I totally lost connection with my ring cam at 3:41. Bailey, my daughter that was one of the ones under the stairs, called me and said, "Mom, we don't know what's going on out there. The house was shaking. We heard glass breaking, loud bangs, a lot of noises going on. I don't know what's going on out there. What do I do?" Then she called me about 5 or so minutes later and said, "Grandma said that it was safe for me to go out and look." I opened up the door to the underneath the stairs, and Mom, the roof is gone. Mom, the roof is gone. I can see the sky. Right then, I said, "I am on my way." I hung up the phone. I went and told my boss, "I am leaving. My kids need me. They're at home, and I have to get to them." I had friends and family from all over, soccer parents, school parents, and I got 3 different families doing my laundry, and I think we took about 9 truckloads to the storage unit, and we'll be back tomorrow to get more.
Amongst relatives and locals helping Mindy and the neighborhood out, organizations such as Operation Blessing are actively offering assistance and are encouraged by the amount of response by the volunteers already.
We come out and look for people to help tarp roofs, clean up debris, organize volunteers to try to have as big a positive impact as we possibly can. In this one area, these houses are devastated. The majority of the houses I see in this neighborhood look like they're probably going to have to be demolished. So we've got a construction trailer and our work order trailer en route. Depending on what we find out, we make determinations about whether we send a mobile kitchen for feeding. We also have the ability to send tractor trailers full of relief loads with meal kits or hygiene kits, cleaning kits, and water.
To volunteer or help communities affected by the tornadoes, contact American Red Cross, Operation Blessing, or donate to the Nebraska Tornado Recovery Fund through the Omaha Community Foundation.
2 brothers from Nebraska survived a real-life nightmare. They were sucked out of their home by a tornado. Roger Slatton had just left for work on Friday when his friend called to tell him a tornado was spotted near his home. Roger turned around and called ahead to his brother Royce, who was at the house, and told him to find their 2 dogs and get to the basement. The brothers say they locked eyes before a tornado with at least 136-mile-per-hour winds ripped them from the house. Roger said he remained conscious as he was thrown into the air, doing cartwheels as he described, while being pummeled with debris. He hit the ground face down and was pinned by rubble. Brother Royce said he remembered being ripped from the back of the house before he was eventually slammed into the ground. Royce said he felt like the whole house was ripping into his back. Their house was destroyed. Royce required 22 stitches, and he said it's painful to walk. Roger suffered multiple bone bruises, cuts, and was punctured in the back by a nail.
Under our feet, the floor it jolted a couple times, and then we just took off. Both of us the moment before we took off, we were both trying to head down the stairs, and we kind of looked at each other, and it was, for a long while, I was certain that was the last time I ever was going to see my brother.
Their reunion was a massive relief for them both, and they feel lucky to have survived the tornado, along with their dogs.
Property owners in the Lincoln area who suffered damage from Friday's tornadoes may be able to have their 2024 property evaluation adjusted. Lancaster County Assessor Dan Nolte encourages owners who have storm-related property damage to file a report of destroyed real property. Forms are available on the County Assessor/Registers of Deeds website at www.lancaster.ne.gov/154/forms. Reports must be filed with both the County Clerk's Office and the Assessor/Register of Deeds office on or before July 15th. Separate forms are required for each parcel. Those with questions can contact the Lancaster County Assessor/Register of Deeds office at assessor@lancaster.ne.gov or call 402-441-7463.
Although many of those in custody are still eligible to vote, depending on their standing, many are unaware when Election Day comes around. Starting this fall with the adopted Legislative Bill 20, an expected 7,000 Nebraskans incarcerated in county jails will have access to voting rights information. Through a partnership between the American Civil Liberties Union of Nebraska, Civic Nebraska, and RISE educational pamphlets are arriving by mail at county jails. Starting in July, Nebraskans who have been convicted of a felony no longer will have to wait 2 years to vote after completing their term of their sentence, including any parole or probation.
A Grand Island child care provider now faces more serious charges after the baby she was taking care of dies. Bianca Riviera Lima will now be charged with child abuse resulting in death. The boy had been declared brain dead last week after he was found not breathing and showed no signs of life. Grand Island police say the child was taken off life support over the weekend. Omaha doctors who treated the boy believe the injuries were intentional and resulted from severe shaking or slamming. Police interviewed Riviera Lima and determined her story about the injuries didn't match up. Riviera Lima was scheduled for a hearing in Hall County Court this morning. Before the child died, she had been charged with child abuse resulting in serious bodily injury. Well, this weekend we will see more than 6,500 runners across the city as the Lincoln Marathon goes into full swing.
The Mayor's Run will be held on Saturday, May 4th, while the Marathon and Half Marathon will be held Sunday, May 5th.
Drivers and cyclists who are out on the road Saturday must be extremely careful between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. As well, there will be police officers in the surrounding streets of the Capitol building controlling traffic with children on the Mayor's Run.
On Sunday, officers will be shutting down certain streets between 10th and 48th Street, as well as from Pioneer to R Street. For the full list of street closures, go to lincolnmarathon.org.
If you have not yet signed up to run in the marathon or half marathon, you can still register until May 2nd. It is $145 for a spot in the marathon, and for the half marathon, it is $125.
For the Mayor's Run, children in the 6th grade and under can register for $16 online up until May 2nd. To register for any of the events, you can go to lincolnmarathon.org.
Well, it's warm today with the possibility of severe weather. Logan Schlottman is here with your forecast.
It was a quite warm day, but let's take a look back at what we did see Friday with our Arbor Day tornado outbreaks, where we did see 9 confirmed tornadoes, with 4 of those being EF3 rated tornadoes, as we see the 2 on here, the Lincoln, Waverly, and the Elkhorn, Bennington. Those were both EF3s, while we did have 2 EF2 tornadoes and then 3 EF1s. This is preliminary data that came out, so possibly could change in the next few weeks. While looking currently, we do have that tornado watch has been slashed for most of eastern parts of Nebraska, but still along the Missouri River, you do on those counties still have that tornado watch that is going to be going into effect until 10 p.m. It is always make sure if you're in a tornado warning to go into your safe place, whether that's a basement or if it's the interior part of your home, like a bathroom or a closet where you have most walls against your house, is always make sure to do that. I'll be back with a full forecast right after the break.
Thank you, Logan. Coming up on Nebraska Nightly.
A man is accused of attacking a bison,
Gas prices may be peaking.
and some Nebraskans may be losing access to high-speed internet. All on Nebraska Nightly.
Need for blood never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Nebraska saw some severe weather and even tornadoes to end last week.
And those threats are still in the air. Nebraska Nightly meteorologist Logan Schlottman is here with your weather.
There will be chances for severe weather tonight, but taking a look at current temperatures across the state, where we do see 50s, 60s, and 70s across the state, and it was also quite muggy thanks to those early morning thunderstorms that rolled through the area. 64 up in Valentine, 77 in Grand Island, 79 in Lincoln, and 75 over in Omaha. Looking at Lincoln right now, we do see that really high dew point, which brings that higher humidity, which is why we felt that more muggy feeling out today with that feels like temperature of 81 degrees with some low pressure. But satellite radar, we do have clouds that's going to be making its way over into the greater Midwest. We're going to see those potential storms lining up. While zooming in more into Nebraska, we can really start to see those clouds really fire up those storms and push it over into the eastern parts of Nebraska, into Iowa and Missouri. That's why we do have that day one SPC outlook, where we do have that enhanced risk from Iowa, Missouri, and in Kansas, with parts of Nebraska being in either a slight risk, a marginal risk, or a non-severe thunderstorm risk. Some threats that have been associated with these are very large hail and damaging winds up to around 80 miles per hour. Day 2 outlook, we're still going to have that enhanced risk in Kansas and down Oklahoma, but this is going to be more south of Nebraska, where we do see that slight and marginal risk. Let's take a look at our NAMST model, where we do see those beginning precipitations. This is going to be till Thursday morning. We're going to let it restart here. We really see those echoes really move out there, and we have that severe weather that's going to be right down there and bringing precipitation into the overnight into Thursday morning. Now, GFS model, this is going to be going from Thursday on to around, I think, Saturday or Sunday, where we do see that low pressure system that's going to make its way up, but it's going to be on and off precipitation for most of the state. Let's take a look at those rain chances. We do see them varying from 50% on Wednesday and Thursday before we get lower chances on Friday through Monday with 20, 30%, and then 20 and 20. And then Tuesday should look like a dry day finally with 0%. But looking at our QPF, this is for the next 7 days for total rain that we can see. Nebraska should be getting anywhere from around maybe 3/4 of an inch to around 2.5 inches, especially if you are over in eastern Nebraska, where we will see those higher chances for more rain. So this should really help out the drought monitor. Later conditions, 47 degrees, northwesterly wind of 16 to 20 miles per hour. It's going to be clear to partly cloudy with gusts all the way up to 26 miles per hour. Looking at tomorrow, we do have those chances for scattered thunderstorms, high of 67 degrees, and gusts can get all the way up to 23 degrees, and we should be seeing that rain probably come around that afternoon time. The week ahead, 60s for the next 3 days with those chances of scattered thunderstorms, partly cloudy on Friday, but warmer temperature is forecasted ahead with 70 degrees on Saturday with some AM showers possible, and then sunshine and warmer temperatures going from 71 on Sunday all the way up to 78 on Tuesday. That's all I have for the weather today, and we'll take it right back to the desk.
Thank you, Logan. Students at Columbia University are continuing their protests. Ivan Rodriguez reports from New York that the protesters for Palestine have moved their chanting indoors and locked the doors behind them.
With encampments and now lock-ins, students are taking action. Here's video from Columbia University where pro-Palestinian protesters have barricaded themselves in a building.
They're not going anywhere until Columbia meets the demands of the apartheid divest movement, which have not changed.
Jared is a Jewish student at Columbia. He says pro-Palestinian protesters just want their voices heard. He says they want their university to sell its investments in companies with ties to Israel.
There's a genocide going on in Gaza, being funded by our government that our university is profiting off of. And I think that if they can use some tactics to portray us all as some sort of hateful mob, then they can go on with ignoring our message.
Columbia says the students occupying the building face expulsion and that it would not divest. On the other side of the country, police in riot gear swept through Cal Poly's Humboldt campus, arresting dozens and clearing occupied buildings. The university wrote on its website, "What's occurring was not free expression or a protest, it was criminal activity, and there were serious concerns it would spread even further on campus." At the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, about 30 protesters were detained Tuesday morning. Education Secretary Miguel Cardona told lawmakers on Capitol Hill Tuesday that his department is committed to protecting students.
Hate has no place on our campuses. We do not condone and we definitely reject any calls for genocide or any calls for anti-Semitism or any anti-Semitism on campus.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
UNL students will be sharing their views on the Middle East situation at the union's free speech area tomorrow. The host group is calling the area a liberated zone for Palestine. Students are expected to be there throughout the day.
Good news, gas prices may be peaking for the spring. Gas prices in the U.S. have hit their peak for the spring and possibly the year. Tripe A reports that as of Tuesday afternoon, the national average for a gallon is $3.66. That's down about a penny from last week. Analysts say fuel costs could continue falling over the next few weeks due to a number of factors. Those include the end of spiking oil prices and record-setting crude production in the U.S. California has the most expensive gas in the U.S., where it's $5.40 per gallon.
Funds for the Affordable Connectivity Program, which discounts monthly home internet bills for millions of Americans, are about to run out. Groups working to close the digital divide warn of serious consequences. Karen Kafa is in Washington with the latest.
A federal program that has provided a digital lifeline with low or no-cost internet for roughly 23 million American households is about to end. The Affordable Connectivity Program, a 2021 pandemic-era benefit, has run out of money, and digital advocates are concerned about what that means for the nation's digital divide.
That's the path we're on right now, is we're going to be returning to a place where kids are doing their homework in parking lots, folks can't access their telehealth.
The Federal Communications Commission says that in May, enrollees may receive a reduced benefit. For June, nothing at all unless Congress acts. The White House said Monday they'll continue to push Congress for a renewal and encouraged service providers to help in the meantime.
We announced earlier this month that we are encouraging providers to take steps to keep their consumers connected at this crucial time by offering low-cost, no-cost plans.
Angela Seifer, Executive Director of the National Digital Inclusion Alliance, says users of the Affordable Connectivity Program should check in with their internet service provider about those lower-cost options.
If an individual or household had utilized one of those low-cost offers prior to the pandemic, they should definitely check and see what that low-cost offer is now. It may not be exactly the same as it was then.
The group also suggests looking into the FCC's Lifeline program for discounts on phone and broadband service from participating providers. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
The White House reports Nebraska has more than 96,000 households registered for the program.
A man is accused of harassing a bison and kicking one of the animals in the leg at Yellowstone National Park. Park officials identified the man as 40-year-old Clarence Yoder of Idaho. Yoder is in the hospital with minor injuries. Rangers say he was hurt after approaching the bison too closely. He is under arrest for alcohol-related crimes, disturbing wildlife, and other charges. Yoder could face fines and 6 months in jail. He has pleaded not guilty.
Coming up on Nebraska Nightly.
Football shines at the spring game.
Some Husker stars continue to the NFL.
And Husker baseball took on a rival last weekend.
Welcome back to Nebraska Nightly. It was quite a busy weekend in Nebraska for sports.
Nebraska Nightly sports anchor Sarah Pearson is here to recap.
After weeks of practices, the much-anticipated Nebraska football spring game finally took place. On Saturday, the Huskers battled it out in a red versus white scrimmage, and all eyes were on five-star quarterback Dylan Raiola. Over 60,000 fans on hand to watch the Huskers practice. Raiola getting the start for the red team, showing off his arm early, completes a 16-yard pass to Janarian Bonner. That puts Red up 7-0. Still first quarter, Daniel Kalin in at QB. Attempts to find Isaiah Newer, but Mason Jones picks it off. White takes over on offense. We move to the second quarter. Here is Tristan Alvano with the kickoff return to Ja'Cory Bari Jr., and he is going to break through multiple defenders and run away with it, taking this one 78 yards before he is finally brought down. He finished with 163 total yards on the day. White goes on to win with a final score of 25-21. Head coach Matt Rule says he was impressed with Raiola's performance, but there are things he can improve on.
It's going to be the little things with Dylan, not the big things, right? He's got a great feel for the game. He's got a big-time arm. He's calm. It's going to be the little things. It's going to be protecting the football, taking three, managing the game. I thought it just felt like he did a lot of those things.
In more football news, 7 former Huskers have signed as NFL free agents. Safety Omar Brown and quarterback Quentin Newsome have both signed with the Denver Broncos. Safety Phelan Sanford will join the Las Vegas Raiders. Offensive guard Noradine Urilli will head to the New Orleans Saints. Wide receiver Billy Kemp IV signed with the New York Giants. Running back Anthony Grant will head to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And long snapper Marco Ortiz will join the Los Angeles Chargers. Nebraska baseball took on the Iowa Hawkeyes this past weekend. Game 2 on Saturday was halted midway through due to lightning and moved to Sunday. But more bad weather delayed the game even further, and finally, after many hours, the game resumed. Let's pick things up in the 6th inning. Here is Josh Caron ripping one down in right field. That allows Tyler Stone to come all the way around from first and score to give Nebraska the 9-2 lead. 7th inning now, Iowa fouls one off to the right, but check out the defense by Dylan Carey. He dives and makes a spectacular catch. What a play by Carey. Same inning, Huskers on offense. Joshua Overbeek at the plate, and he is going to launch this one deep over the right field wall. That ball is long gone. The solo shot puts Nebraska up 10-2. Huskers go on to run rule the Hawkeyes with a final score of 12-2 in 7 innings. The Huskers will head to Omaha tonight to take on in-state rival Creighton for the 3rd time this month. The Blue Jays are 2-0 against the Huskers this year, winning 5-3 and 6-4 respectively. Ty Horn will take the mound for Nebraska, facing Creighton's Shea Went. First pitch is set for 6, and the game can be seen on Nebraska Public Media. Nebraska softball had its last home game canceled on Sunday, but that didn't stop them from honoring the 2024 senior class. 8 seniors were recognized for their contributions to the program. Billy Andrews, Brooke Andrews, Sarah Harness, Sydney Gray, Peyton Cody, Caitlin Neal, Abby Newland, and Kaylin Kinney. Congratulations, seniors, on all your accomplishments. There are just 2 weeks left in the Pro Volleyball Federation's regular season, and the Omaha Supernovas have had quite an impressive year so far. Currently, the Supernovas sit in 2nd place with a 13-7 overall record. The Atlanta Vibe are in 1st place at 18-5. Omaha's next game will be at Columbus on Saturday at 6:30, and the game can be seen on national TV on the CBS Sports Network. The Pro Volleyball Federation Championships will take place at the CHI Health Center in Omaha on May 15th through the 18th.
Well, thank you, Sarah. What a busy and exciting weekend for Husker sports.
Very exciting, and some more news. Nebraska basketball picked up another transfer, Braxton Nee from Washington. Now 5 transfers in the offseason. Fred Hoiberg really putting in the work.
Thank you. Coming up on Nebraska Nightly.
A glow-in-the-dark dance workout.
an on-the-go yoga class,
and student day at Ross, all after the break.
3, 2,
Fell off the book.
1.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
If you're a student at UNL and have ever been interested in reporting or video production, Nebraska Nightly is your place.
Big Boss!
Here you can build creative skills no matter how much experience you have.
Our equipment is very, very high level here, and it's something that a lot of times a lot of people wouldn't get to access until they're kind of in a professional workspace.
Talk to a UNL advisor about joining Nebraska Nightly.
Well, it's a big weekend here in Lincoln. Priscilla Castaneda is here with all the details.
Get your groove on because the Glow Mix Fit is today at 8 p.m. at the Rec Center. Mix Fit combines explosive dance movement and boot camp toning. There will be all types of music from hip hop to upbeat pop. Wear your best neon colors for this glow-in-the-dark event. The UNO Rec Center is hosting a fitness on-the-go cardio sculpt tomorrow at 5 p.m. Their goal is to make fitness more accessible for everyone. It is a free group fitness class and its equipment is provided. Register at go.unl.edu/fitness-classes. The Ross Media Arts Center is hosting a student night on Thursday. Students have to show their school ID to get a $1 ticket. The Beast, V-Snack, and We Grow Now will be screening. There will be popcorn and drinks for all movies. That's all for entertainment. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Priscilla. Nebraska Nightly is a student production of the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you Friday at 4:30 on Nebraska Nightly.